Mr. Transformers 96 here. So in the video where we talk about some newly shown Marvel Legends. So there are 3 upcoming Marvel Legends waves that look quite interesting or are very different, and I wanted to do a bit of a ranking video on kind of where these Marvel Legends stand for me personally. So I'm going to be ranking out of all of the waves my top 5 most anticipated figures from all of them, including Build-A-Figures. So that's what I'm doing here. We have 3 waves, and as you can see, let's just get a little uninterrupted view of them. There you go. The top row, this is the Spider-Man Far From Home wave with the Molten Man Build-A-Figure. Then we have the Endgame Wave 2, which is the bottom square to the left there, which has the Hulk as the Build-A-Figure. And then we have the bottom right square over here, which is the X-Force wave with Wendigo as the Build-A-Figure. So interesting 3 new waves coming up. 2 of them are kind of movie-based, and then 1 of them is full comic. And they all look interesting to me. Nothing I feel very differently about these waves. If you asked me to rank these waves, I could tell you immediately how I'd rank them, because one of them is great in my mind, one of them's pretty good, and then one of them's in my mind, so I could totally rank them easily. But as far as all the figures go in the wave, I wanted to rank them individually, so I am including Build-A-Figures within this, so if I'm looking forward to a Build-A-Figure more than just a regular figure, I can still include them in the wave, or in my ranking, I mean. So let's get started ranking all of these. So the 5th figure that I'm most looking forward to out of this, all of these figures here, the upcoming Marvel Legends, has to be from the Hulk Build-A-Figure wave, and it is War Machine. This one probably would have got a little bit higher on this list had it been the accurate colors. Of course, this is his War Machine colors, which I do think look cool, but they're just not accurate. In Endgame, of course, he had an Iron Patriot color scheme to him. So although the figure sculpt looks really accurate, the paint is not. It's not bad, but it's not accurate. But overall, I think this looks like a tremendous figure. It is a figure that does not come with a Build-A-Figure piece, but that is quite understandable in my mind, just because of the bulk of the figure alone. I wouldn't be super surprised if this was like a Build-A-Figure for a wave, so I'm totally fine that he is just a normal packed non-Build-A-Figure piece figure. So overall, really excited for this one. I do have it on pre-order. I'm actually really liking Hasbro Pulse's new system where they're allowing you to pre-order figures directly from Hasbro, and if you have Hasbro Plus Premium, which you got for free if you bought something within like the first month that they had Hasbro Plus out, which I did, you get free shipping. So I've been able to just pre-order a lot of these figures, so I don't have to go hunting, I don't have to worry about them, they'll just get delivered when they're released, which is pretty relaxing actually. Now the number 4th figure, it's going to have to be Scorpion. Really am looking forward to Scorpion. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, Spider-Man villains for sure, and particularly when they do a Spider-Man villain, I'm always excited for it, but sometimes it's definitely not, it's a weird outfit that they choose. However, with this one, they went with directly straight up classic looking Scorpion, which I love. I'm always a big fan of the classic looks for these characters, so a classic version of Scorpion is really exciting, and I'm definitely looking forward to this one as well. The tail looks interesting. I'll be interested to see how much articulation it has. It seems to be rubber with a wire through it, so hopefully you'll be able to do some cool stuff with that. And then the rest of the figure just looks quite nice overall, and he does include a Build-A-Figure piece. Again, another figure that I do have on pre-order. Then my number 3rd choice is a Build-A-Figure. It's going to be Molten Man from the Molten Man wave, the Far From Home series. So I am very excited for this Build-A-Figure. Really never expected him to be a Build-A-Figure in a wave, but I'm really happy that he is. This is the movie version of him, of course, and he's just super unique. Obviously, it's 100% a new sculpt, which is always really exciting, and it seems to have a lot of personality, a lot going on with it. The odd proportions are really cool too. I'll be interested to see how posable he is. Like, obviously he's going to have the joints for it, but because of his awkward proportions, he might just kind of only look good in certain stances. I'm not sure, or maybe he'll just be very versatile. It'll really just depend when I get him in person. I think that he's a pretty decent size too. I did see like a picture of him in person with some of the other figures, and he was a little bit smaller than I imagined, but not too much, so I'll really be interested to see how he is in person once I finally get him. He's got a really cool head sculpt as well, and apparently he's a bit translucent too in the orange pieces, which is cool, so I'm very much looking forward to this Build-A-Figure. I'm definitely going to be completing him. Then the second figure that I'm most looking forward to has to be Nightcrawler from the Wendigo series. This is one that I am really excited for as well, being a main member of the X-Men, a really cool member as well. And then this is the figure that they did right. Really, no complaints about it. Has a lot of new pieces because of his unique proportions and suit, and as well as you get 3 different head sculpts. All 3 head sculpts look great. Like, I'm not even sure which one I'd leave him with because they all look really good. So I'm very happy about that. As well as him coming with a classic sword is wonderful as well. The only thing I could have ever wanted with this figure that we didn't get here is like a poof effect, similar to kind of the portal effect that they gave Blink in the Caliban series. So something like that would have been cool, but that would have been way over the top. I certainly wouldn't have expected it. So I'm very happy with this, and he even comes with a Build-A-Figure piece, which is nice. Typically a figure like this, because he's so popular, they wouldn't give him a Build-A-Figure piece, similar to what they did with Gambit from that the Caliban series as well. But no, you still get a Build-A-Figure piece with him, which is pretty great. I don't have this figure on pre-order yet, but I do plan to pre-order it as soon as I have got the time. So now, before I show off my number 1 choice, I do have some honorable mentions, and I didn't intend to pick an honorable mention from each wave. It just happened that the 3, like if I was doing a list of 8, these 3 would be the ones that would fill out the list, and they happen to be 1 figure from each of the waves, which is kind of funny. But it is Rescue from Endgame, Mr. Sinister from the Wendigo series, and then Hydro Man from the Molten Man series. All 3 of these look great. I have all 3 of these on pre-order as well, and I'm very excited for them all. That Hydra Man was the one that I was considering knocking out War Machine to put on, but I decided not to. Just War Machine looks a little bit better, but I'm really quite a fan of how they made that Hydro Man look, and the accessories that they gave him, I think, work really nicely. But now, going over my number 1 choice for the figure that I am most looking forward to from all 3 of these series is going to have to be, and this is down to the character mainly, but the figure certainly supports it, and that's going to be Mysterio from the Spider-Man Far From Home series. Like I said with Scorpion, I'm a big Marvel fan, big Spider-Man fan, and particularly Spider-Man villain fan. Mysterio is he's my second favorite Spider-Man villain, as well as just my second favorite Marvel character altogether. Carnage is the only one that beats him. And I am super stoked to see him in a film, and to get this movie version of him looks really wonderful. Completely new sculpt, of course. Looks like there's a ton of detail going on there, and overall just amazing looking figure. My only disappointment with it is the lack of a Jake Gyllenhaal head sculpt. That might be down to licensing because of how much of the movie I think he's going to spend without the helmet on. I would imagine that if they were able to give you a head sculpt, they probably would, because it's pretty necessary, but I'm not sure. It might have just been Hasbro laziness, but I'm hoping that it's more of just like a licensing issue as to why we didn't get one. But overall, it looks really stunning. Really excited for this figure, and really excited for the character as a whole. So there you go. So that's my thoughts on all the figures in the wave. To be honest, those are the majority of the figures I'm going to buy from all 3 of these waves. When it comes to the Hulk Build-A-Figure series, I only plan to get War Machine and Rescue. From the Wendigo Build-A-Figure series, I only plan to get Nightcrawler and Mr. Sinister. However, from the Molten Man series, I plan to get the majority of them. The only one that I think I'm definitely going to skip is this Spider-Man, the black and red Spider-Man suit, just because I'm not a fan of the suit, and he doesn't come with a Build-A-Figure piece. But all the rest do come with Build-A-Figure pieces. I want that Molten Man Build-A-Figure, so I do plan to get the entire series, other than that one Spider-Man. So yeah. Overall, we have 3 nice waves coming out. Again, like, I'll just tell you my ranking of them. The Spider-Man one would clearly be my favorite. My second favorite would be the Wendigo Build-A-Figure one. I think that as far as comic waves go, that's a really nice comic wave. Guardian's really the only figure that I think is pretty bad in that wave. Everybody else is really good. And then Mr. Sinister and Nightcrawler just look amazing. And then the Endgame wave 2, that would be my least favorite, just because I think that the Build-A-Figure is quite underwhelming, and then the figures in it are not super interesting other than some of the movie ones. So yeah, overall that's my ranking of how I'd rank my top 5 figures that I'm most looking forward to from the next 3 waves that are coming out from Marvel Legends. Overall, some really cool figures coming out. I'd love to hear what you guys think of my ranking, as well as how you guys would rank them as well. And thanks so much for watching.